Bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-da-ba-dum bum. Welcome back, my friends. This is BjjBrick Quick. My name is Byron. This is a quick podcast about jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I guess, to be specific. Today, we're talking about law enforcement. I believe this is the 5th installment of the BjjBrick Quick with law enforcement. If you are interested in that, go to bjjbrick.com, type in law enforcement, and these episodes will just pop right up. You can still get them pretty quickly. Help you filter through the rest of the stuff. All good stuff, no doubt about it. But today, we're talking about law enforcement and, we're grappling with suspects or people or whoever. I don't know how to describe it, but, that happens. Law enforcement officers will grapple with people. The main thing I want you to think about today is there's always a gun in the fight. And that's a big deal. A gun will end the fight immediately. If it's pointed at if you're a law enforcement officer and your gun gets taken from you, you could be dead instantly. Like, you wouldn't even feel it. I remember having a thought like that once. It's like, oh, yeah. If this person points a gun at me, like it's now in their hands. Wouldn't even feel it necessarily. Anyway, let's talk about that a little bit and bring it back into what we're talking about. So, the idea that you're going to go, put your blue belt on or better or, almost and go grapple with your suspects and things and do jiu-jitsu with people and keep the whole community safe from bad guys and gals or whoever. Well, every time you're going hands-on, at least one of you has a gun. Not to mention a variety of other weapons that could be concealed or present, visualized. So there's always a gun in a grappling match on the streets with police officers. You got to control that thing. You shouldn't be seeing things and talking with people, and sometimes a law enforcement officer won't quite holster their firearm before going hands on. That's a mistake. I'm not a cop. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I haven't been through a class, but your gun should be in a secure position before you're going to attempt to, I guess, for lack of better words, fight somebody or go hands-on. And maybe that means that your backup is standing a little bit away, covering you as you holster your weapon. But you can't fight somebody, A, with a gun in your hand, that you're scared to put it away, or what? Okay, you're fighting one-handed, unless you're planning on smacking them with the gun. I don't think that's kosher. That's not what they teach. Anyway, I'm going off topic. I have so little notes here. I kind of get screwed up. So all I have is law enforcement, always a gun in the fight. Okay. There is different levels of holsters. If you're in law enforcement, you probably, hopefully, man, I hope you know this. And I think the most common is a level 3 holster. And I've grappled with police officers with their duty belts on in training, and they put a fake gun in there, and they said, "Get my gun. I'm going to, fight you or whatever. Just get my gun out of my holster." I couldn't do it. It was really impressive. I could get my hands on it. I could try to pull and yank that thing out of there without knowing how to operate the holster. I wasn't going to get it. It's a locking mechanism that grabs a hold of the gun. The issue is they have to really train to draw the weapon out, and have that be a muscle memory. Because if you're fiddling with the locking mechanism while, you're about to get shot at or you are being shot at, or time's a factor in these situations, that's a huge drawback. It needs to really just add no time to your draw and add safety. And occasionally, I don't know what kind of requirements there are in any given city or whatever, but you could imagine a cop fighting with somebody and their own gun falls out of their holster. And what a disaster that is. So I guess that's a failure. So they have level 1, 2, 3, and I think there's even a level 4, which I don't really know what that is. But I think a level 3 is the most common way to secure a gun in a holster for law enforcement. But there's always a gun in the fight. You got to keep that secured. And really, in the United States, pardon me, I don't know most, but a lot of people carry pocket knives with them or carry some sort of a straight blade. So where there's a knife in the fight, and that you may not see until you see blood. Anyway, man, I guess this is a bit self-defense, but the overall message here, I think, you could take in, if you were unaware of the holsters and you're a police officer, you should really train on that and get that into your muscle memory. But the positional control of a fight is so important. If you get out of position, give that person time to fiddle with your holster, or maybe they're familiar with that, you're in a lot of trouble. And I've seen, cops will put the hand over the gun, so it's like, okay, add another level of security. When I was grappling with the officer, he did not defend the pistol on his hip. He just said, go get it. And he was fighting me, and I had my hands on it, trying to get it out. Didn't know how to work it. But, if he would have put his hand over that would have been another level, or tried to control my hands. He let me try. And it was interesting to attempt and to do that with training. If you're a police officer, maybe find some mats that you could do this on. Your coach may not want you bringing in your duty belt and really rolling around on the mats with that. It might tear them up. So maybe you have mats at your police academy that you could maybe get with a couple of people, or if maybe your fellow officers don't really grapple much, bring somebody in, bring in one of your training partners. Hey, come in when you can on this day, we'll meet, and I want to try doing this. I want to feel like I'm secure and safe with this. Anyway, and that's part of being a good teammate, to support your team. And if somebody wants a little help on the side or needs to use you for your skills, you should be there for them. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you learned something. And like I said, I'm a supporter of safe law enforcement. I want you guys out there serving the community and being safe, not just for you, but for everybody, for the citizens as well. I do think Jiu-Jitsu helps with that. If you want to support the podcast, check us out on Patreon, or go to BjjBrick.com and click on the shop, and you can buy an audiobook. We've got a few there that you can check out. It really helps the show keep going. Till next time, stay sweaty, my friends.